Okay, picture this. It's really early morning, September 26th, 1983, deep inside a Soviet military bunker near Moscow. Super quiet.
Top secret stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you're Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov. Your job, monitor the early warning system, watching for American nukes.
Big ones, ICBMs.
Right. And then, bam! Silence shattered. Alarms are just screaming, and the screen flashes a terrifying message. Nuclear missile inbound.
Oh, wow.
And then almost instantly, 4 more pop up. 5 missiles
Mm-mm.
from the U.S., apparently heading straight for the Soviet Union.
Take a firecracker.
Now, protocol, they called it launch on warning, right? It demanded he immediately report it, which meant basically pushing the button for a full-scale counterattack.
Full retaliation, the whole arsenal.
Exactly. The world was literally minutes, maybe seconds, from nuclear annihilation.
And that's where we're going today, isn't it? This deep dive is all about that moment. How one person, Petrov, faced this impossible choice. We're looking at his decision-making, how intuition played a role against, all this terrifying data, and what happened after. Quite a story.
So what did he do? I mean, alarms blaring, lights flashing. What was his first thought?
Well, he said later that something just felt off, wrong.
Wrong, with 5 missiles heading his way.
Yeah. He actually questioned the data, which is kind of amazing, really. He thought,
Yeah.
hang on, why just 5 missiles?
Okay.
If the U.S. was really starting a nuclear war, wouldn't it be like hundreds? A massive first strike to take out everything?
That makes sense. A decapitation strike, yeah.
Exactly. But just 5? It didn't fit the pattern. Still, think about the pressure. No way to double-check immediately. He had to trust his gut, his judgment, against the machine screaming attack.
So he held off.
He made the call. He chose not to report it up the chain as a confirmed attack. He reported it as a system malfunction instead.
Wow.
And he was right. Completely right. It was a false alarm.
So what caused it? What made the system freak out like that?
It gets pretty technical, but basically the satellite system they were using, OCO, it was designed to spot the heat from missile launches.
Right, the infrared signature.
Exactly. But on that specific morning, there was this really unusual situation where sunlight reflected off high-altitude clouds, kind of sun glint.
Sunlight off clouds.
Yeah, very specific, rare alignment. And the system, which was, relatively new technology then, it interpreted these intense reflections as multiple missile launches.
Incredible. So a trick of the light almost ended the world.
Pretty much. His ability to step back, to question the data, even when it seemed absolutely certain, that's what prevented catastrophe.
Right.
His calm judgment saved everything.
Okay, so he saved the world. Parades, medals, hero status.
Ah, well, that's the really surprising part. Not exactly.
What do you mean?
Instead of being hailed as a hero, he was actually subjected to intense questioning afterwards.
Questioned. For saving them.
Yep. And then, pretty soon after, he was quietly reassigned. His actions, kept totally secret by the Soviets for years.
Secret. Why? Why wouldn't they celebrate this?
Well, think about it. Admitting your state-of-the-art missile detection system almost caused World War III because it got confused by clouds. That's a massive embarrassment, technically and politically.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
And maybe more importantly, you can't really have a system where disobeying direct protocol, even if it turns out right, is celebrated. It kind of undermines the whole military command structure, especially during the Cold War.
So the system had to be seen as infallible, even when it wasn't.
Something like that. Petrov himself was always very humble about it. He apparently said, I was just doing my job, never saw himself as a hero.
But history sees him differently now, doesn't it? The man who saved the world.
Absolutely. And it tells you so much about quiet heroism, about the critical, irreplaceable value of human judgment, especially when you're facing overwhelming data or system directives. It's a huge lesson, even for today with AI and everything.
That human element, the ability to pause and think, does this actually make sense?
Exactly, that skepticism, that intuition.
So recapping this, Stanislav Petrov's story is just profound. One person's gut feeling, their courage under unbelievable pressure, literally changed history for all of us.
It really did. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? In our world now, with so much information, so many automated systems telling us what's happening, what does Petrov's experience teach us?
About trusting ourselves.
Yeah, about trusting our own critical thinking, especially when the system, whatever it is screaming danger or demanding action. How often, does that human ability to pause, to be skeptical, stand between us and disaster, something to really mull over?